Welcome to the Full Moon Film Buff, episode 67. We're going to talk about The Beast Within from 1982. I watched this on Tubi. I had not seen this before. As always, we start with the prominent crew and cast. This film was directed by Philip Mora, written by Tom Holland, with effects makeup by Thomas R. Berman. Philip Mora directs two more werewolf movies, Howling 2 and Howling 3. So I'm going to wait to talk more about him then. Tom Holland, not to be confused with the Spider-Man actor, got his first feature film screenwriting credit for this very film. He would go on to write and direct several great horror films over the next few decades, with the standouts probably being writing and directing both Fright Night in 1985 and Child's Play in 1988. We previously discussed Thomas R. Berman in relation to his work on The Boy Who Cried Werewolf from 1973 and Cat People in 1982. The cast includes Ronny Cox as Eli McCreary, Phoebe Besch as Caroline McCreary, Paul Clements as Michael McCleary, Don Gordon as Judge Kerwin, R.G. Armstrong as Doc Schoonmaker, Catherine Moffat as Amanda Platt, billed as Kitty Moffat, L.Q. Jones as Sheriff Poole, Logan Ramsey as Edwin Kerwin, John Dennis Johnston as Horace Platt, Ron Sobel as Tom Laws, and Luke Askew as Dexter Ward. Ronny Cox is a big deal. He garnered recognition for his early role in Deliverance in 1972, where he played the guitar in one of the most iconic scenes in movie history. He went on to appear in Beverly Hills Cop in 1984 and its sequel, RoboCop in 1987, Total Recall in 1990, and a recurring role in Star Trek that began on The Next Generation in 1992. Beyond his acting accomplishments, Cox said that music now comes first in his life. He turns down about 90% of the acting jobs he is offered to play over 100 shows at festivals and theaters each year. Phoebe Besch was probably known for her work in soap operas, but she had notable film roles as well, including Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan in 1982 as Captain Kirk's love interest, Dr. Carol Marcus, Steel Magnolias in 1989, and Tremors in 1990. While R.G. Armstrong has a long career, we'll get to see him again when I get to werewolf-related television series. Oh, and he's in the Metallica music video for Enter Sandman. Luke Askew led a group of well-known Western actors who showed up in this film, including R.G. Armstrong, L.Q. Jones, Logan Ramsey, John Dennis Johnston, and Ron Sobel. I enjoyed this film. It's a proper horror movie, even if it isn't a werewolf movie. Little tidbit. Novelist Edward Levy sold off the screen rights to the title The Beast Within, but due to complications in his personal life, he found himself with a case of writer's block and missed the publisher's deadline for his book. The producers gave the title to screenwriter Tom Holland, who created an original story for his screenplay. With the movie entering production, Levy quickly composed a novelization of Holland's script, though Holland received no story credit for the book. Now let's cover the synopsis. Eli and Caroline McCreary are on their honeymoon in rural Mississippi in 1964. Their trip takes a dark turn when their car becomes mired in mud. Eli hikes to get help. A humanoid creature chained in its cellar breaks free and escapes into the forest. It finds the McCleary's car and rapes an unconscious Caroline. Eli and a service station attendant find her lying in the forest. As they drive off, 2 gunshots are heard. 17 years later, in 1981, their son Michael suffers a mysterious malady. His pituitary gland is in overdrive. The doctor thinks it may be genetic, which prompts Eli and Caroline to revisit Neoba, the small town nearest to the incident. They hope uncovering Michael's genealogy provides the key to treating his affliction. Despite the uncertainty surrounding Michael's paternity, Eli exhibits unwavering devotion to his son. Michael dreams of a run-down farmhouse near the swamp. Something is trying to break out of the cellar. The town's magistrate and mayor, Judge Kerwin, along with newspaper editor Edwin Kerwin, are wary of Eli and Caroline's inquiries and withhold information. The couple stumble upon details of an unresolved murder involving a mortician named Lionel Kerwin, coinciding with the night of Caroline's assault. They ask Sheriff Bill Poole about Lionel's death. Poole tells them that Lionel's corpse was found partially eaten. Michael escapes from the hospital, steals a car, and heads to Neoba himself. He ends up at Edwin's house, where he is mistaken for a delivery boy and allowed inside. Struggling with hallucinations and violent impulses, Michael kills and partially eats Edwin. He is found a few houses away by Amanda Platt. Concerned about his health, she calls the police. Dr. Schoonmaker informs Michael's parents that his condition is improving and advises rest. The judge finds Edwin's body. Michael tells his parents that he wants to stay in Nioba. Michael returns to thank Amanda. They walk in the woods and flirt. Amanda tells Michael she is the daughter of Horace Platt, an abusive alcoholic and Lionel Kerwin's cousin. They kiss, and Amanda's dog digs up a partially eaten human hand. Sheriff Poole is called in. Horace arrives and drags Amanda away, forbidding her from seeing Michael. Caroline and Michael return to the hospital. During Eli, Poole, and Schoonmaker's search, they uncover a swamp filled with human remains, including a bone possibly belonging to one of Schoonmaker's former patients. The men go to the mortuary and question Dexter Ward, another relative of the Kerwins, who denies involvement when questioned, but later demands money from the judge to keep quiet. That night, Michael visits Tom Laws, the town drunk, and identifies himself as Billy Connors. He claims to have returned as a spirit seeking revenge on the Kerwin family. Michael sneaks into the mortuary and kills Dexter. At the graveyard, they find the woman's coffin filled with rocks. Upon returning to the mortuary, they discover Dexter's corpse. Michael goes to Amanda's house, but is chased away by her father. At the hospital, Schoonmaker informs Eli and Caroline about a mysterious second subcutaneous body layer in Michael's x-rays. Michael confronts Eli and Caroline, revealing that he knows Billy Connors is his father. The next day, the judge orders Poole to solve the murders. Laws tells Poole that Connors possessed Michael and is getting revenge. Poole brushes him off. Michael has a strange sore on his back. He attacks Schoonmaker and flees. Michael kills Laws for talking to Poole. Afraid of his murderous impulses, Michael urges Amanda to leave town. As she packs, Connors and Michael struggle to control his body. In a desperate attempt to stop Connors from harming Amanda, Michael attempts suicide by jumping out her window. Back at the hospital, he pleads to be killed, aware that he cannot stop Connors for long. Poole and Eli are directed to Lionel Kerwin's house, where they discover a deformed skeleton in the cellar. Michael undergoes a horrifying transformation in front of witnesses, surviving gunshots and killing Horace before escaping into the night, leaving behind his shed skin. Everyone flees to the police station. Judge Kerwin demands protection. He confesses to Lionel's dark secret. After catching Connors having an affair with his wife, Lionel murdered her and imprisoned Connors in his cellar. He fed Connors on his wife's body and other corpses stolen from the mortuary until Connors metamorphosed into a monster, broke free, and killed Lionel. He assaulted Caroline in the woods before being shot by Lionel's relatives, apparently returning to the cellar to die. Michael storms the county jail, smashing through a thick wall to rip Judge Kerwin's head clean off. He tracks down Amanda, whose car had run off the road. He chases Amanda into the woods near where his mother was assaulted and rapes Amanda. When his parents, the sheriff, and Schoonmaker arrive, Michael attacks Eli. Caroline intervenes, shooting Michael in the head with a shotgun and ending his rampage. Schoonmaker, holding Amanda, the McClearys, and Sheriff Poole stand, looking awkwardly at one another. It is implied Michael may have impregnated Amanda, continuing the cycle of his resurrection. I dug this transformation. It reminded me of The Thing a little, also from 1982. They linger on the transformation, and boy, does it look gross and painful. Paul Clemens is reportedly double-jointed and used that attribute to contort himself into some twisted positions. Plus, the head swelling to the size of a watermelon was pretty disgusting. But Michael isn't a werewolf. He's a poor soul with a one-way ticket to becoming an abomination. He has way more in common with Seth Brundle from the 1986 version of The Fly. However, I get why this film shows up on lycanthropy lists. Early on in Michael's transformation, he struggles against murderous urges. Once he's killed and fed, he returns back to his normal self. This early monstrous cycle, along with the delay of the reveal about the cicada transformation, means it feels very much like a werewolf movie. A few minor tweaks, and it could have been. Initially, it reminded me a lot of a modern update of The Curse of the Werewolf from 1961 and Curse of the Devil from 1973. So let's talk about the cicadas. Cicadas are fascinating insects that belong to the order Hemiptera, hope I'm pronouncing that correct, and are known for their distinct buzzing sound and periodic emergence cycles, both facets adapted into this film as monstrous traits at the heart of the story. Cicadas aren't dangerous. They aren't predators. They're annoying at most. This story simply borrows their long, dormant development period and molting transformation from juvenile to mature forms. These creatures have a unique life cycle, behavior, and ecological significance. One aspect of cicadas is their lengthy underground development period, which spans several years depending upon the species. During this time, cicada nymphs live underground, feeding on sap from tree roots and undergoing several molts before emerging as adults. Upon emerging from the ground, cicadas transform, shed their nymphal exoskeleton, and reveal colorful wings and robust bodies. Adult cicadas are known for their loud buzzing calls, produced by specialized structures called tymbals, located on their abdomen. These calls serve multiple purposes, including attracting mates and establishing territory. The synchronized chorus of cicadas during their mating season creates a mesmerizing natural symphony that can be heard across forests and woodlands. Cicadas play a crucial role in their ecosystems. While they are a food source for various animals such as birds, mammals, and even some insects, cicadas contribute to nutrient cycling and soil health through their feeding habits. Additionally, their emergence and moss can have a significant ecological effect, influencing predator populations and nutrient dynamics in forest ecosystems. Cicadas are not only fascinating insects to study, but also important components of their respective ecosystems, highlighting the interconnectedness of all living organisms in nature. Now, let's talk about justice. Let's delve into the film's plot for a moment. Does Billy Connor find justice, or does he perpetuate the evil done to him? Billy's affair with Lionel Kerwin's wife leads to his unjust imprisonment and years of undeserved torture. Upon escaping, he seeks revenge on anyone associated with his tormentor, including Lionel's relatives who aided in his suffering. While this is understandable, Billy's quest for vengeance takes a dark turn when he harms innocent individuals like Caroline and possesses his son Michael, subjecting him to similar horrors that he himself had to endure. Billy's actions create a cycle of violence, transforming him into the monster he resisted becoming. Despite his intentions to right the wrongs done to him, Billy's revenge results in the destruction of innocent lives. While he eliminates the cruel Kerwins, he inflicts irreparable harm on others, including Michael and Amanda, innocent bystanders, in his vendetta. Ultimately, Billy emerges as the primary antagonist of the story, overshadowing Lionel's villainy in his own life. So, if you like lycanthropes, like, share, and subscribe. Contribute your thoughts and additional observations in the comments below. Let me know what I missed or what you noticed. Next, I plan on discussing She-Wolf from 1983. Keep your eye on the moon, a silver bullet in the chamber, and we'll see you back next episode.